most of us at home have an animal, whether it's a goldfish or a horse, or something in between. Animals are special to us, and the ones we have are the lucky ones. You don't often see it in the media, but animal testing is real, and it's a big thing. Nowadays, we do have companies that are cruelty-free and are fighting for the rights of animals, like Plush. But many companies still test on animals. It's probably some of the big brands that you know are Calvin Klein and Victoria's Secret. Yeah, they test on animals. Those are only two, but there's many more. Animals aren't just tested for cosmetic purposes. They can be tested for checking if a drug or chemical is dangerous, or to try to find a cure for a disease. But these aren't very accurate when given to humans, though. When animals are being tested on, they're not treated right. They're forced to drink fluids and eat food, or to be given medicine. They are also given surgery, so they experience things like heart attacks and other medical conditions that humans have. They live in tough conditions, on cold floors with no toys or anything to lie on. This is often hated by the companies, who are only in it for the money. The government spends thousands upon thousands of dollars for testing on animals, when the truth is most of the time it doesn't even work. Animals are bred to have diseases, while we have way more cost-friendly alternatives available. Many might say that we need animal testing because we can gain so much information from testing on animals, and we can learn from mistakes so we don't hurt any humans. In fact, many of the winners of the Nobel Prize Award for their medical research say they couldn't have done it without animal testing. Many also say that it helps create many life-saving vaccines, which is actually true. It has saved many lives with vaccines that were tested on by animals. They also make sure cosmetic products and healthcare products are safe to use. We don't want anyone getting hurt from something that we don't know is safe. But people who want to keep animal testing also argue that we don't have any fit alternatives, and that animals are fit to be tested on because they are similar to humans. Both of these are not entirely true, as animals can't be compared to humans, and also that people are creating and making better alternatives that will be safer and more reliable for everyone, every single day. When you ask around, most people have an idea of what animal testing is. But when it comes to opinions, this is where it becomes more controversial. People often will say that they feel bad about what happens to animals, while others seem to care less on what is being done with animals as long as they are okay. We asked people if they're okay with using a product tested on by animals. 66.7% said no, while 26.2% said yes. The other 7.1% said they would prefer not to say. But when we asked, would you stop animal testing if you had the option to, 83.3% said yes, while only 2.4% said no. Majority of people would prefer not to have animal testing be a thing. But as of right now, and what the average person knows, they would probably still use a product that's tested on by animals.
This is the idea of replacing animal studies for drug testing, for example, with little micro-engineered devices that are lined by human cells and reconstitute organ-level functions.
One of the things that pharmaceutical industry is finding is that they're having very high failure rates, and often it's because the animal models being used to develop these drugs are not predictive of the human situation.
It's very expensive to perform animal studies and also time consuming.
Whereas here we have models that can potentially better predict the human situation.
It's called human breathing lung on a chip, and this device mimics a breathing human lung.
It has human airway cells from the air sac on a membrane that's porous. On the other side of the membrane are human capillary blood vessel cells. There's air on one side, there's flowing medium with human blood cells in it, like blood on the other side, on the capillary side, and then the whole thing stretches and relaxes just like our lung does when we breathe.
And we mimic, various types of physiological responses to drugs, toxins, or various types of materials we encounter on a daily basis.
So this would be very useful because it's human relevant, because we will be using human cells.
And I think the beauty of this technology is so easy and straightforward that a lot of people can use it without getting trained, especially biologists, clinicians, chemists, who don't have any engineering background. This technology is accessible to them.
Much cheaper than using animal models. To see the size, you need very little compound. So this would not only be more predictive, but have higher turnaround times. You can screen using much smaller amounts of the drugs too. So more predictive and more practical.
But we also have kidney on a chip, bone marrow on a chip, peristalsis gut on a chip, and we're just going on organ to organ and hopefully integrating them in a little microsystem. We link the heart that beats to the lung that breathes. We're getting great interest from pharmaceutical industry and hope to announce our first alliance to use those to see if we can indeed replace some animal studies to accelerate the drug development process and decrease costs.
In the end, we have choices to make about animal testing. Animal testing has saved many lives, but also has caused the death of many lives, with the cost of millions of animals' lives that probably never saw the sky or the sun. If we want companies to stop testing on animals, then we have to fight for it. Limit your use of products that are tested on animals and start using ones that are cruelty-free. Cruelty-free products have a bunny logo on the packaging. Doing so can stop another animal from being hurt and tested on until it dies. Animals deserve to live just as much as humans. So make the choice. We have more ways to help lives than ever before.